Moment of truth. This is like creme caramel meets the fluffiest sponge ever, and it is heaven. This is my version of Vietnamese flan cake. Okay, so I know that this looks very tricky. I mean, that big reveal is like, kind of moment. But the actual making of this dish is pretty simple if you follow these tried and tested steps. And believe me, there's been a lot of testing going on to get this just right. So first of all, I want to start off with the toffee part. So I need some caster sugar, just simply into a saucepan. Then turn the heat on, and the trick with making a true toffee just from sugar and no water is not to use any implements in here. Don't get any utensils in here because that can cause the sugar to crystallize and you'll like have to start all over again. So just let the sugar do its thing on the heat, and then as you start to see some brown bubbling happening there, you can kind of swirl the pan a little. Again, don't put anything in there, just swirl the pan, and eventually you will end up with a really beautiful dark caramel toffee color. It's important to get that dark color because you want the toffee to be just on the brink of burning, but not burnt, if you know what I mean. This looks absolutely perfect. So you can then pour that into your ramekins. Okay, so we've got our ramekins here with the toffee. Now I'm putting my ramekins into a deep baking dish because I need to kind of create a bain-marie situation later on, but we'll get to that bit later. Step one, done. Not too hard. Let's get going on the creme caramel part of the dessert. So what I need for this is some milk, sweetened condensed milk, and eggs. So there are quite a lot of eggs in this dish. I'm not going to be shy about it, but it will be worth it in the end. So first of all, I need 3 whole eggs into my bowl here. And then I need 3 egg yolks. Now I'm going to use the egg whites later on, so save those and make sure you don't get any yolk in your egg white. Now just some vanilla paste in here as well, and give that a whisk. Now see how you can see little flecks of egg yolk in there? Sometimes, well generally that kind of often happens when you're making this kind of mixture, so I like to strain it out. So this will just ensure that our creme caramel part is really lovely and smooth and creamy with no kind of like firm flecks of egg yolk baked in there. Now you can just divide up your creme caramel mix into those ramekins on top of the toffee, and you want to fill up each ramekin until it's about 2 centimeters from the top, because of course we need to save room for our sponge cake mixture. So final element, final part of the dish here, apart from the cooking part, but we'll get to that bit later on. We need to make the sponge cake part. So I need my egg whites in here with some sugar, and then just whisk this until you get really firm marshmallowy type peaks. So this is what you're looking for here, quite firm but still a bit shiny and marshmallowy if you like. So now I just need to make one more little mixture in here. I need another 3 eggs. I need to separate them again. And these egg whites, they're gonna have to be saved for an omelette or something tomorrow morning because they don't fit in to the sponge cake recipe that I have here. I tried and tried and tried, but I just couldn't get it to work out. So it's all right, they won't go to waste. Use them for breakfast, please don't waste them. But in with these egg yolks, I need a little bit more milk, some oil. So this might be a little bit of a surprise ingredient, but it keeps the sponge cake kind of really lovely and soft and moist. And some flour. I'll just give this a whisk. Now we need to do some folding. So folding 101, grab a little bit of your egg white mixture, pop that in first. And the reason you do it like this is that this first lot of egg white is basically just lightening up the mixture before you put the rest of it in. The whole idea is that we want to keep as much of the air as possible that we whipped into those egg whites. See, now you can see that the base mixture is lighter, which means the rest of this mixture should mix in a lot easier. Okay, so that is looking super light and fluffy. How amazing. Now this just gets spooned onto the top of our creme caramel mixture. Might need another spoon there to just kind of scoop it in, and it should float. If it's not floating, you've done something wrong. Start again. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Just divide all of that sponge mixture up. And then what we want to do here is create the bain-marie situation, which is just a fancy way of saying we're going to pour some water into the pan, about halfway up the side of the ramekins, or just below halfway, about a third, that's okay. The water around the ramekins kind of protects the mixture, the custard mixture inside, from the really harsh direct heat of the oven. Sort of like a little bit of insulation if you like. Okay, so this needs to go into the oven, 150 for 40 minutes. Let's have a look. Ooh, they look all fluffy and awesome. Okay, carefully just pull them out. Oh. Now at this point, it's gonna look like you've made like a kind of beautiful sponge souffle kind of thing. But unlike a souffle, you need to wait. These need to cool down, and then I'm gonna pop them into the fridge for at least 3 to 6 hours. So a little bit of waiting to do before the big reveal. So our flan cakes have cooled down. You can see that there are quite a few cracks here in the top. That's fine, because we're gonna flip these over so the top will become the bottom, if you know what I mean. What I do need to do though is I have had these sitting in the fridge, so that toffee in the bottom will be quite firm. So I'm just gonna grab some hot water that I've got here, just pour that in to the tray, and just let those guys sit in there just a minute or so until they warm up a bit at the bottom. Now what we can do is just grab one of our ramekins, and then I'm gonna level off the top of this so that my flan cake sits nice and evenly on the plate. All right, plate goes on top, do the flip, hold your breath, make a wish, and here we go, big reveal. So just kind of do a little bit of shaking. Oh. Yes, look at that. I mean, it's a moment like this where you just like pat yourself on the back. It's amazing. Look at that. Look at that color. I love the ratio of flan to creme caramel here. Just a really nice, beautiful base there. And then that like just set caramel on the top, and the toffee and all the things. Oh my goodness, so many good things. Now, I need to eat some of this now. This is gonna be good. I'm excited. I mean, it's gotta be one of the world's like great desserts, right? I don't know how you can get any better than toffee, creme caramel, sponge cake. It's like, it's all the things. So good. Hey guys, if you want to know whenever I'm releasing something new and delicious, then you should hit that subscribe button and the little bell so that I can let you know every time something new is coming out. Thanks, see you!